Yo, what happened here? Ah, there we go. Look at that. I'm back. I'm back, baby. I'm back. I am back. Can't stop me. Could only hope to contain me, but you can't stop me. None of you. None of yous. There's 10 of yous, but ain't none of yous talking. We're gonna open up the panel today. We're gonna have some fun. I need some fun in my life. What do we think? Talk some old school, talk some new school. Old school, new school, need to learn. No. I burn, baby, burn like disco inferno. Why the fuck did the alert not go out? Sons of bitches. They always do this shit. The alert doesn't go out. So I gotta set another one to schedule for 2:45. All right, now that alert should go out. So we'll have people up in here. Why don't I see anybody in here? Talk, people, talk. There's 12 of you in here. Let's do roll call. Who's up in here? Talk to me. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. If I ain't shy, you ain't shy. You know what I mean? Who do we got up in here? There he is. I knew Guru was in here. Guru, not to be confused by Guru from Gangstar. There's a different Guru. You know, I always do this and it never fucking works, but I'm gonna try it again. Shane, what up? Shane, did you see what Fred sent me? Did you see this, Shane? I don't know if you were in here. Yes, I think you were. I think so. That's HBO Boxing official, some kind of yearbook thing from 1997. And I'm pretty sure that right there, Shane, is Alexis Arguello's fucking signature. And I'm pretty sure this is Aaron Pryor. I'm only guessing because that looks like Aaron Pryor, right? That definitely says Alexis A. So that's a fact. And they fought each other, so it makes sense that Fred was at some event where they were together and they both signed this shit. How dope is this? Look at this. This is back before the internet. This was like this all boxing. This is before you could look shit up. This was our internet back in the day, people. This was our internet right here. This is how you would look shit up, information, everything. Look at that. Look how cool this is. Look at that. And I believe, yep. And look, I'll show you right there. Published. You see it right there. 1997. Is that clear enough? I don't know if you can see it, but you get what I'm saying. How fucking dope is that? That's so dope to me. Right? You just love him because he gave you a ride home. Like 3 times. Man. So what's going on, people? Who else is in here? Lightning, what up? What up, what up? How we doing? Yeah, I don't think my alert went out. As usual. It's a fucking nightmare. Fucking nightmare. This is hitting this, isn't it? Making noise. CJ, what up? I like it and I want it. Now we can do this the easy way or the hard way. Well, I might raffle it, but first I got to make sure Fred would be okay with that if I do raffle it. Because he might not be. But he might have gave it to me for this reason because he knows I raffle shit. So I called him last night, he didn't pick up. So I want to thank him. But Fred was just like, hey, check your mail. I got something I came across while decluttering. You might like it. And I'm like, so this comes in. I'm like feeling it. I'm like, who the fuck sends books anymore? Like, what is this, my grandmother? And it was that, which is dope. I might still have it here, as a matter of fact. I do have it here. I almost feel like going to get it. I have a book of, oh fuck, do I still have it, of old boxing tapes. So Shane, the fight that I went to with your dad and your brother, Moore versus Holyfield 1, I have the actual ticket for that. It was a $700 VIP ticket back in '94. That was face value. 700 was face value for ringside back in '94. I have that ticket, which is fucking cool. And now that George died, oh no, it wasn't George. That was I'm thinking more Foreman. It was more Holyfield, so it doesn't really make a difference. But I am going to put the link in. I feel like rocking out. That's why. Call in. Boom. Boom. Let's pin it. All right. So the link is there. If anybody is feeling froggy, they can jump, leap, whatever. Yeah. I had this old book of all these fucking tickets. I think I might have lost it. It had the Foreman ticket. It had the Prince Nassim Kevin Kelly ticket. It had Roy Jones versus James Toney ticket that I went to. Had some Knicks tickets, Knicks games I went to. I went to go see the Knicks in Chicago. I went to go see the Knicks, obviously, here versus the Bulls. I had a bunch of, I don't know what the fuck I did with it. So that's a problem. We ended yesterday on a good note, feeling better. Well, I'm glad, CJ, because I am feeling pretty fucking shitty. Pretty stressed out. Dealing with all this business shit. I did fine-tune the pitch, though, the ESPN pitch. I did fine-tune it. And those of you who want to hear it, we can hear it. So I'm going to start the pitch by just being like, look, back during Joe Louis's era, Jack Dempsey's era, even Ali, the heavyweight champion of the world, was the most beloved and recognizable athlete in the world. Jack Dempsey had the first $1 million gate, actually $1.7 million gate, meaning people would come see him. But that's not the impressive part. This is how big boxing used to be. Jack Dempsey would garner between damn near over 100,000 people to come watch him fight in the fucking 1920s. 100. These guys now can't do 100,000. He would have 100,000 plus watching him fight. And mind you, this was before people even knew about the fight. Like, it didn't spread like wildfire like now with internet. The dudes would have to put on the pigeon foot and send it across the country. They would have to, yeah, see, fight 1928, and see, yeah, come on, yeah. That's how big boxing was, right? So I want to bring that back. I want to do a show that's a one-stop shop for all things boxing. But I want to give it not a Bert Sugar. No disrespect to Bert, he was great, but not an old white guy, Bert Sugar, even though I am old and white, in your face kind of, where you feel like you're sitting in an auditorium at the University of Arizona being lectured. No, I want to give it a fresh new, like, millennium twist to it. Like a more of a pop culture twist to it. And for the reason I want to do that is because the resurgence of boxing as of late from guys like Jake Paul, who have brought a much younger, more diversified, and of course larger audience to the sport now, and guys like Turki Al-Sheikh, who are also bringing more people to the sport. I think a show would capture all those people, and the fact that I was a former fighter, so I don't just talk about it, I be about it. And maybe I shouldn't be quoting Diddy, but whatever. I'm not quoting anything else that he did. Sell everything, move to Florida. I might. That might happen. That might happen. Um, the show is going to have current fights and news segment, current shit, right? Which sometimes will be popping, sometimes won't. And that'll feature interviews of current fighters, or maybe even a celebrity fight fan who loves boxing, who will come in and talk about, a fight that they want to see that's coming up, whatever. Then I'm going to include something called the fun fact of the day, right? Fun fact of the day can be anything from, did you know that there was no official belt until Jack Dempsey had a belt? There was no real belt. It was at one point, this one guy, a random fight fan, it was word of mouth. The champion was word of mouth. There was no organization, there was no belt. Some champion, some fight fan made a belt, gave it to, I forget who, maybe Tommy Burns or somebody, and then they just held it. Or did you know that the word boxing is of unknown origin? Right? Why would we call throwing hands boxing when we know boxing means fun facts like that? Second segment will be the classics and history segment, which of course will have interviews by some of the fighters at question that I do in my videos, or by some celebrities who are there who want to talk about. But it's going to include the history of the fights too. For example, Holmes versus Spinks. So everybody knows that was Holmes' first official loss. 48-0. He was trying to tie Rocky Marciano 49-0. But the backstory to this, besides the fight itself, is that in the media room after Holmes loses, with Rocky Marciano's family, because Rocky had already died in the plane crash, sitting in the seats in that media room, when asked about, are you upset you didn't snap that record? Holmes said his famous, Rocky Marciano couldn't even hold my jockstrap. I don't care about him. And everybody got crazy, right? And that was even crazier because Marciano had died. His family was sitting there. So background stories like that, I think, are really interesting in a show. Besides the fact that we got to talk about the fight itself, breaking down the technical aspects and all that. Another segment I want to do the top 5, dead or alive. Top 5, right? So it could be anything from the top 5 greatest chins, top 5 face-first knockouts in history, top 5 brawlers, whatever. I think that'll be a cool segment. And then, of course, I want to throw in the community call-ins, which I'm going to figure out how to do. Maybe I just get a bunch of you guys. We start with like 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 of you guys. I send you guys topics, and then you can all call in and talk. I don't know how we're going to do that. I don't even know if that's feasible, but I'm going to try for that. So that is the background of the pitch. Yo, Marco, why are you pitching this to me and CJ? I'm just going over it, man. I'm rehearsing. Dempsey was scared of Sam Langford. Incorrect, Casey. Sam Langford was not active when Dempsey wasn't. If he was, Sam was already old at that point. Sam was Jack Johnson's era. Jack was scared of Sam. They fought once. Jack barely beat him and was like, I'm not doing that shit again. 5 technical boxing matches. Once I dug into Holmes' history, I was surprised how uncouth he... Yeah. I was just with him at the Bobby Chess thing. It was pretty funny. So him and Michael Spinks were both at this event that I was at last week. And they start announcing the fighters, right? There was a guy with a mic, like, and he's sitting here is so-and-so. You know, Tim Witherspoon there, Donnie Lalonde was there, a few old champions. Then when they started announcing Spinks, Holmes got up playfully, but you could tell he had some seriousness to it. He goes, don't clap for him, because that's the guy the first guy who beat him. Someone needs to make a boxing history YouTube channel. Well, there's a guy called Rich the Fight Historian. He makes pretty good documentaries. They could be a little dry. And a lot of the documentaries that he does are just the fights playing. So he'll talk as much as he can about a fighter, show footage if there is, show pictures, but a lot of it is just showing the fighter fighting. He was still dangerous in 26. All right, let's see something. I don't remember how old he is, but I'm assuming. All right, he died in 56. Wow, so he died 30 years later. That's a decent life. 1926 minus 1883. He was dangerous at 43? Nah, see, that's what I'm saying. I was exactly right. He was in his late 30s, early 40s when Dempsey was ruling. Now, you have to remember something. You might say, oh, late 30s, so what? Bud's late 30s. Late 30s back then was fucking old. 40s back, now you had some exceptions like Archie Moore or whatever, but in general, nah, that was old. That was old. Old. You could say Jack Johnson didn't want to fight him, but not Jack Dempsey. What's up, Legacy? Everything else fades. Thanks for what? Nobody wanted to fight Sam Langford. But Dempsey's was probably more like, why am I going to fight a 43-year-old dude for what? You think you're so smart, Casey? Where's Langford from? Don't Google it. Where's he from? Let's see if you can fuck with me. Where's he from? Can I? I have no idea if you're not going to Google it, so I guess. ESPN has a vested interest in boxing if they got Stephen A. having his opinion. Yeah. I'm going to really push hard on the classics. Okay. You could have Googled that, but that's correct. I'm going to push hard on the classics because the classics will always be there because boxing has a lot of lulls in it. Check the tag on my shirt just now. It reads Dempsey, so I know I'm from his cloth. Did he say Dempsey? The Tyson thing? I'm from. Who'd he say? I'm from Jack Johnson. I'm not Alexander the Great. I'm from their cloth. Did he say Dempsey? I forgot. If you're referring to Tyson's rant about eating children. But his grandparents were American slaves. Funny enough, I actually talked to Lennox Lewis's son when Lennox was going to do a weekly podcast as me as a co-host, and we recorded one episode, and it just stopped. And I met his son during that. Son seemed like a really respectful, nice kid. Yeah, Liston and Dempsey, LMAO. He did say Liston and Dempsey. Okay. He's like, I'm from their cloth. Because of my lisp. I'm very, very insecure about my lisp. Me and Shane have, which I'm never fucking playing. We did like video skits when we were like 12 or 13, and one was Tyson versus Razor Ruddock rematch. Oh, and one was me. He's Arsenio interviewing me, and I'm Tyson. I'm never playing that. Though. Never happening. But yeah, I tried it. It was basically me impersonating the In Living Color Mike Tyson character that Keenan Ivory Wayans played. Mike wasn't, CJ, before Mike lost and then got the whole rape and his life started being turned upside down, he was real soft-spoken. He didn't talk much. That's what made him so intriguing. People thought he was just soft-spoken like teddy bear, but he would go in the ring and just want to kill people. So, you know how that is. You know how that is, sucker. I got the link if anybody wants to jump in. It is such a slow time in boxing right now, man. Crazy. Slow time in general. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what it is, though. Hold on. My bad. My bad. Sorry, guys. Is it slow, Jerron Ennis? I mean, it is slow. I'll hop on for the sake of the show. I mean, we got 20 in here, so nobody's really talking. If Mike was in this era, we wouldn't have gotten canceled so fast. Mike still, to this day, has preferential treatment. Like, he can do and say what he wants in this climate. He just beat the shit out of some fucking skinny, dorky ass, redneck white dude like a year or two ago. Just started popping him, and nobody said shit. You know what I mean? Hold on, sorry. There's CJ. What up, CJ?
What up, Marco? Happy Friday, homie.
I don't find it very
No?
happy. It's not happy for me today, but I appreciate the gesture.
Yeah, it's the thought that counts, right? It's just a good sentiment. I'm trying to spread positive vibes out here today. So shout out to you. Um, hey, don't let the stress get to you, man. Life, there's always going to be some challenge. Ever been a point in your life where you just had no problems? I don't think so. I never had that. So if you have, shout out to you. But I don't think there's ever going to be a time in life where you just have zero problems and zero challenges. So just appreciate the good with the bad, do what you can today to overcome those challenges and keep it moving, man. Just try to stay positive, basically.
That's what I hear. I hear. Do you believe in energy? Positive energy creates positivity. Do you believe that?
I do. I mean, I've experienced it in my life. When I was walking around sulking and just, being to myself and kind of caught up in that negative cycle, definitely don't get the positive results I'm looking for. But when I'm just like, all right, fuck it. I know what my goals are. I'm going to take that 1% step today to move in that direction. Then, when I lay my head down that night, I feel I feel a little better about it, and that just builds compound interest. You do that day after day, and before
Mm,
you know it, your situation is different. So yeah, I do believe that.
okay.
You mentioned last night that your wife is kind of on that same accord, right?
Yeah, yeah. She's very much into. She's also like she believes in God and having faith and all that stuff, which I have a bit of a problem with. Not that I'm against it. It's just hard for me to just be like, yeah, well, I'm taken care of. When you see all the crazy shit going on in the world, like how it just doesn't.
Trust me. I mean, I mentioned on here briefly, I believe, what I'm going through with my family, my mother. Matter of fact, I'm going to go visit her here in a bit. I'm up here by her home. But in any event, yeah, yeah. The faith thing, I don't want to get too, this is the boxing channel, but you brought it up, so I'll briefly touch on it. Um, I'm more into kind of like a Eastern religions right now, and not necessarily like belief in one single God that's always looking out for you and is always doing good. Because obviously we can see. I'm sorry to say, y'all, I don't want to shit on anyone's faith, but we can see that's not true. Bad things happen to good people all the time. But
Mm-hmm.
more of a karma thing. That's kind of simplifying it, but I don't want to get too deep. But more on that page than any of the Western religions. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Okay.
So chill up.
All right. Yeah. So, you know, uh,
Yo, go over the pitch again. No, not to exhaust it, but I missed because you said you refined it a bit, and I heard your lead in. Okay, these guys used to be the biggest sports stars in the world, globally recognized.
yeah.
Great point. So who's to say we can't get back to that?
Right.
Obviously, boxing has the ability to create that kind of popularity. But as far as your segments, can you just briefly go over that one more time?
Sure. Sure. And I don't know if this is in the particular order. I don't know if it matters, but these are the segments. So first one is the good old meat and potatoes, current fights and current news. Simple.
All right.
So like right now we would talk about Boots this weekend. Maybe even have Boots in studio or have Stanionis with a translator in studio. So that'd be the first segment, current stuff. Second segment I'm gonna push is for fun fact of the day or of the week, whatever it is. Whatever the fun fact is. Did you know that Roy Jones was the last? I was gonna say last undisputed champion in the 3-belt era, light heavyweight, but that's not really. Cooler facts than that. Stuff that people don't know.
Right. Okay.
Like I use the example, like the word boxing is of unknown origin. And then going to me, that's interesting. Like, it's like I always wonder why the fuck is it called boxing? It doesn't make any sense.
Definitely. Do you have any hypothesis on that?
It's literally of unknown. Like you can Google it later. I don't, and I haven't looked at it in a while. I would research if I'm going to use that one. I do a little research to brush. I actually in college wrote a paper about boxing, and I remember putting that in the paper, and that was part of it. Like in the beginning, I'm like, boxing is of unknown origin. And anyway, so that would be fun fact of the day. And then, of course, the meat and potatoes of the whole segment I want to push would be the classics and history segment of the whole show, which would focus on a specific fight, historical fight. We would, kind of do what I do, maybe even show one of my videos if time is of the essence, breaking it down phonetically, so to speak, breaking it down technically, but also going into the history of the fight, because there's always cool little fun history facts that are included with every big fight.
Right.
That. Then I want to do a top 5 segment, top 5 dead or alive. Every week be a different category. Best chins, greatest trilogies, whatever, greatest Cuban fighters, whatever it is. And then the call-ins. And the call-ins is the only one that I'm a little. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if it'll be, since it can't be live. I don't know, but yeah. So those are the segments.
I like it. It's very thorough. They might add one or two. They might take one or two, but no, that's a good. Man, that'll keep the show popping. A lot of different things going on, and like you said, there's not always something current going on. So classical fights will be huge, huge for your show.
Sure.
Let me ask you this. Now that you refined it subjectively, it's going down Monday, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Subjectively, right now, heading into the weekend, how confident do you feel in the pitch, like on a scale of 1 to 10? 8, 9? Be honest.
I feel very confident, but the thing is, I know it's something I'd want to see and I'd want to do, but I'm not those fucking guys. So that's what I'm saying? Like, I feel confident for me, but this has been my problem, which my wife helped me with. I didn't tell her to adjust. Actually, listen to this one. She said, you can't always look at things from your perspective, because I would always do that. Like for example, I would say something to somebody that if they said it to me, I wouldn't give a fuck. But my wife, like, Marco, not everybody thinks like you. Like, that could be offensive to some people. Just because it doesn't bother you. So I'm trying not to just look at it through my perspective.
No, that's great advice.
You know what I mean? But I'm pretty confident. Thank you. I'm pretty confident, though.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think you're right up there. 9, 10, man. I feel very good about it. So, yeah, just go in there, be relaxed, be yourself, sell your personality, because you got the X's and O's. You got what you need. So, yeah, be chill, man. They'll like you. We like you. And as far as the call-ins, I wouldn't be too stressed about that. I mean, they have the infrastructure up there logistically. They'll help you figure that out. You feel me? It wouldn't be on you, I don't think.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be on you to figure that out. Yeah.
Hold on 1 second here. Sorry, I'm getting a text here. Hold on. Sorry about this.
All good. I'm not on the YouTube anymore, but I hope there's more people in the chat right now than there were when I hopped up.
Yeah, there is. Sorry.
Okay.
All right, my bad.
Well, do your thing. I just didn't want, dead air. Dead
No,
air,
no, it's
dead
all
air
good.
is the enemy.
My
So,
bad, people. And
yeah,
guys, there is a link if anybody wants to jump in, be my guest. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
yeah,
So
really.
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, man. Sure,
No, no,
channel.
go ahead.
Got it. Oh, I was just gonna briefly say, really, I thought Alberto might want to hop up, and since I was up last night, I was gonna give him a chance. So since I didn't see him, then I went ahead. 'Cause
I don't really. I'm not into Alberto arguing with you. To me, that's just not
yeah,
fun. Like I don't know if he's young or if he's just a competitive dude, but to me, like there's a lot of channels where that's people love that shit, but this isn't one of them. To
yeah,
me,
man.
it's not fun to hear people because the truth is, like, you guys actually got along pretty well, and
Right.
he's a cool dude when he wants to be.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But
I'll take
then
your word for it.
no, no, no.
No. I just
You saw it when we were all talking
that's
together.
true. That's true. I'll
You
give him
saw
that.
it.
All right.
No, he was fine, but then he had to throw it. Maybe that's some people are raised a certain way. They like a little spice, drama in their life. I don't know, but
Yeah, I don't want to
basically,
get into personal attacks. So it's just something that
he's
I don't
also
know, oil and water,
way.
oil and water. So if you want to
Mm,
keep us apart, I'm with it. I think I can keep it mature, but if it's not a mutual thing, then it's just gonna end
oh,
up bad anyway.
yeah,
So
you're not gonna. If he starts saying shit, you're not just gonna sit there and swallow it. And then I'm just gonna, it's not gonna
right.
happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but if Alberto, if you can come in and behave yourself, I'm good. I'm good. Uh,
We're not enemies, homie. It's all good. This is boxing. I don't know how we got off on the wrong foot, but let's put that behind us and just talk boxing, homie. That's all I want to do.
that's what I'm saying. How many? Let's see. It says 19 people. I'm seeing because this is not. Wow, it's only 9 watching. You know what I
That's
think
crazy.
happened? I'm also live on X
Okay.
because it
All right.
shows that there's 19 for me, which I think or maybe half of them are on X right now. I didn't even mean to go live on X, but okay, fuck it. Um, Duran is only fighter that comes to mind. About what, RX?
Yeah, with regards to what?
How about this? We hear the term weight bully a lot. Do we know of any fighters doing that back in the day, religiously having to cut 30, 40 pounds to make weight? No. Bud, right?
Oh, apparently. I mean, you said 185, right? When we saw the scale, shit. So your homie verified it even before that. So yeah, maybe. But no, back in the day, same day weigh-ins prevented all that bullshit, which is why I advocate for that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, I don't know. Um, Anybody watching on X, which I'm realizing now is half of you, you can go to the YouTube channel because I'm not seeing any comments on X, unfortunately. I don't know how that works. I don't think I am. Everything I'm seeing here, I think, is just the YouTube channel. But I didn't realize that increases. I should see. I could also go live on Instagram. I could do it all in the same at the same time, but I feel like then I don't see what they're saying. You know what I mean?
I think there's a way to put. I mean, you're the content creator. I don't know, but I've seen people put it together so where they can read IG and YouTube at least. I don't know about Twitter, but you can do IG and YouTube. There is a way.
My man Oval, what's up?
Oh, what's up, man? I'm just saying. Hold on. Let me get this down.
Yeah, I can't really hear you.
Yeah, something's going on with your mic.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We hear you. Yeah, it's a
That's
little better.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what's up. No, I just want to say I love your content, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
What?
because I don't know that much about boxing, man, but I like the fights.
Okay. Okay. You seem
That's
like
what's
you know
up.
a good amount.
Huh?
You seem like you know a lot when you come in and things you say.
Yeah, but not too much. I'm not a aficionado.
Mm. Well,
And, and the word I posted was uh man, what did I post? He was like theologian. That's like an aficionado, somebody who studies,
uh-huh.
like a doctor of a particular subject.
Uh-huh. That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
but
Yeah.
keep,
Yes. Did you just not to cut you off? I mean, I'm gonna let you land, but did you just use the word theologian?
He did.
Yeah.
You got more big words than me. Go ahead, homie. You got it.
But I typed that in last week, and he was saying, I was like, nah, I'm just saying you're good at what you do, man.
I
Keep
appreciate
doing
it.
Right,
what
right.
I
you're doing.
hope I hope ESPN concurs.
There you go.
Hey, you the people's champ. Whatever, man.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. What part of the country you from again? Oval?
I'm in North Carolina, man.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, North crack your back.
This is that's what I love about this is like people from all walks of the country come together. You know what I mean? Like growing up, I never met anybody from the South ever, ever, or a couple Californians, but not even. It was just you just relegated to where you are.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now so many people can come together, and in boxing, obviously, it's a very widespread fan base. You know what I mean?
How
Um,
did you meet all the boxing guys?
how did I meet them?
Yeah, like on a first name basis. 'Cause
I've
you don't
been
talk out your mouth, and you don't like name drop.
right. Um, I mean, it's from years of being a fighter, from being around fighters, from doing what I do now. You know what I mean? Um, just a lot of it is a mix of both. I knew a lot of them coming up, and I met a lot of them since I've been doing content. So it's kind of both of those things combined.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Did you ever do a video of Razor and you did a video of Razor and Tommy Morrison, didn't you?
Did I? That's my highest viewed That video has almost 11 million views. People love that video because it's so
Oh,
Wow,
it's
I haven't even seen it, and I haven't seen the fight. I'm surprised I haven't, because
I'll
that
play.
was a
I
huge.
could play it right now if you want, but you'll see the video. I'm different. This is earlier in my career, like so I don't have as many of the one-liners and all that. Um,
Okay.
so it's a mix of I think I did a good job, but also that fight was so vicious. Like no, you can't keep your eyes off it.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
that's what's up. Yeah, please show it.
And I'll play it right now. Yeah, that and I want to redo it because it was also um before they let me do like 3 minute long videos. I was only able to do I think a minute 90
Mm.
seconds. Oh wait, no, this one is a little longer. All right, here we go. Yeah, this one is how long is this one? This one's 2 minutes long. Okay, here we go. I'll play it right now. Let's do it. All right.
The most brutal knockout in boxing history.
hmm.
Ray Mercer zombifies Tommy Morrison. Tommy comes out the gate blazing, detonating that patented Mike Tyson right to the body, then right uppercut combo. The Duke's radar was locked in because that classic Tyson combo couldn't miss. After being a stationary target and swallowing repeated grenades, Mercer's plan to wear Tommy out was starting to rear its head. Ray later told me personally that he had suspected Morrison was on steroids, so he had to let Tommy punch himself out to drain the juice. 8 years his senior, Mercer used that experience to hold Tommy and lean on him, dropping Morrison's energy bar to zero after every loaded up miss. The Rocky 5 star continued having some success into round 3, but had now shifted down to third gear while visibly huffing and puffing. The former Army Sergeant Mercer continued gassing Tommy out by leading all 225 pounds on him. Mercer then lands his first significant blow as he manadors Morrison into the corner and then thrashes him with a cinder block right counter. The momentum of the fight has now shifted as Ray is landing heavy shots on the gasping Morrison. Mercer now employs mental warfare as well by jawing at Tommy to further deflate the Oklahoma native's spirit. In the 4th round, Ray continues chipping away at Morrison, landing clubbing shots and roughing him up. Seconds into the 5th round, Ray again willingly backs into the corner, waiting in the cut like a pack of starving hyenas. Tommy bites and Mercer catches him with a counter coming in, then spins Morrison around. This initiates the filthiest, most brutal series of knockout punches ever unleashed in the square circle. Ray sideswipes Tommy with a left hook, which leaves him zombified like the Walking Dead and defenseless. The referee was positioned behind Mercer, so it took him a few extra moments to jump on the scene. This allowed Mercer to explode 9 clean, vicious shots as Morrison lay tangled in the ropes like a spider web. What history was more brutal than this? Tell me in the comments.
I mean, it was like 4 clean, like he was hitting a bob. You know the thing called bob that people hit at the gym. You ever see those? It's basically like a white dude's torso. It's like made of like a, you know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I do. I
Yeah,
do.
yeah. He looked like he was hitting a bob doll.
Yo,
Yes.
correction. So I have seen that one, but I never get tired of seeing it. So thank you again. But I thought you said what's homie's name?
Yeah,
Oval. I thought you said
Razor Ruddock and Tommy Morrison when Tommy
exactly
knocked the block off of.
I did that too. I could play that too. Yeah,
Ruddock. Yeah,
I
that's
thought
what
you said
I was.
Morrison. Okay, Tommy and Ruddock. Yeah, I did that too. That one I did more recently.
Okay.
Razor still had a chin though, but man,
Razor.
Hell yeah. Hey, Tyson couldn't knock him out. 2 fights.
Razor's
No.
still trying to fight.
Well, kinda. You know what I mean. You got the stoppage, but
Here we go. I'll play it. Razor's still trying to fight. Still, he called out my man Jeremy Williams. He's a little out of
no
it.
way.
Oh yeah. All right, here we go.
How old is he? He's got to be almost 60. Come on, man.
61. 61.
Nah.
Here we
Come
go.
on.
Here we go.
1995, another golden era classic.
Oof.
yeah,
Following Tommy Morrison with hammers. 60 seconds in, Razor lifts Tommy with an uppercut, ejecting him to the ground like he fell off a pogo stick. But in a thrilling twist in the next round, Tommy levitates Razor off the ground like a sorcerer with an uppercut of his own. Morrison follows up with an assault that results in a standing 8 count. The Jamaican native tries to even the score by blasting Tommy with wrecking ball shots. But the heavy artillery drains Razor's energy bar, forcing him to clinch like he's about to do the tango. The Oklahoma native breaks the clinches by blasting Ruddock on the inside. Razor fights back by launching his infamous hook/uppercut smash punch. At the end of round 4, the Duke cracks Ruddock, leaving little birdies flying around his head. Tommy follows up with a 17-punch unanswered rainstorm. But Donovan responds with his best Muhammad Ali impression, trying to shatter Tommy's will. Ruddock proceeds to serve Morrison in straight sets like John McEnroe in the 5th and 6th round, beating on Tommy like he was collecting gambling debt. After hurting Morrison again in the 6th round, Razor suddenly swallows a sneaky left hook bomb that drops into the through a trap door from upstairs. Amazingly, Ruddock gets up and coherently gets back on the saddle. However, seconds later, the ref stops the fight after Morrison swings out 6 unanswered sledges.
So that was a bit of an early stoppage.
You think so?
A little bit.
He didn't seem helpless. I feel you, and he had shown his chin. Like you said he was coherent, and I agree. So
yeah, it was that was a bit of an early stoppage. I feel like.
Yeah.
But that was a crazy fight. Yeah, Ruddock's been in some crazy fights. I'm actually working on a video right now of Kevin Kelly. Do you guys remember him?
Yeah. Why do I recognize? He used to work for WWF.
I don't.
Is that the guy?
Think so.
Okay, different Kevin Kelly.
Well, he fought Prince.
Melvin Kelly.
Yeah, there you go. He
I don't.
He fought Prince Nassim Hamed. He's a Queens dude. I actually trained with him back coming up. But yeah, he was a featherweight, very good fighter. I'm doing the video right now. What up, boss? Tommy had a nasty ass left hook. Tommy was one of the hardest punchers, but Ray Mercer did tell me personally when I was chilling with him last year. He said, "Nah, Tommy was on steroids." He's like, "I knew he was going to gas out." He's like, "I knew it." He's like, "I just had to wait." Boy, was he right. Boy, was he right. What's good, Joseph? Joe, check out the 11th round of Eubank versus Watson 2. Okay. Send the link. I'll play right now. Tommy had an ass left hook. Didn't they fight twice? Didn't who fight twice?
I don't think so.
Who's he talking about? Oh,
Morrison and Ruddock.
No,
yeah.
Kelly and Nassim. No, they didn't. But everybody probably would have loved to see that. That first fight I was at that fight too, live at the Garden. That was a banger.
About what year was that? I'm gonna look it up. About what year was it?
97, I believe.
Okay.
98. Huh?
You have a lot of boxing memorabilia. Do you have any of Ali's artwork? Any of his paintings?
I don't actually have that much boxing memorabilia, believe it or not. I just pretty much what's behind me. No, I don't have any. I'm not a collector, but our guy Newburgh's Finest, who comes in here, he's a collector. He has all kinds of shit. He like literally he sent me pictures of all kinds of autographs, all kinds of shit.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, he has a lot. Wow, that's crazy. So I never realized that I'd get so many people watching on X while I do this because I don't really have that many followers on X, which is weird. But all right, whatever. I'm into it. Maybe I'll even include Instagram next time.
Hey Marco, brief advice. People
Yep.
like shit that's live. Whenever I come to YouTube, I click on the live for my feed. So that's a bonus. So what I would do if I was in your shoes, simulcast every stream, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And then, like I said, there is a way. You have to look into it because I don't know the X's, the ins and outs.
I know how to do it. Yeah, I know how to do it. I did
okay,
it here.
yeah. And then combine those two chats, and you're set. That'll get you the maximum traffic and audience engagement.
Right, that's what I'm gonna do. Boss Deck, no, his nickname was the Flushing Flash. Flushing is an area in Queens. How I know that is my father grew up in Flushing, so I used to go to Flushing all the time. So no, he is born and raised in Queens. As a matter of fact, I worked out with him when I was a young amateur at the Flushing PAL, Police Athletic League. I don't know if you guys have those in your parts of the woods.
That's how I got into Taekwondo.
So they had them all over the country, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So no, Kevin Kelly is definitely from Queens.
Hey, thanks for having me on, brother, man. I'm gonna get off of here.
Of course, man. Yeah, jump on anytime.
Thanks,
Peace out,
man.
Oval.
Peace.
Yeah, later. Did you know the nanny from Flushing?
Did I what?
Did you know the nanny?
What nanny?
Flushing, Queens, the nanny. Anyway.
Oh, the move. Oh, yeah. She was from Queens, the nanny?
Yeah,
Talking about that woman, Fran Drescher?
I thought she was from Brooklyn.
That's hella funny.
Yeah, I know she is. I thought she was from Brooklyn. Huh. Okay.
The show was funny. I was making a dumb joke. But y'all take care.
Cats viewers, anyone?
I was a little slow on the uptick. I got you.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so how many do I have in YouTube? It's 15. Wow, that's pretty pathetic, 15. But I got 31 in here, which is weird. Okay. Well, fuck it. Yeah, so that's interesting. That's very interesting. Tommy Morrison was in some classic fucking fights, man.
Yes, he was. Wars.
Yeah, tons of them. And, because he threw such a hard shot, but he also would go down. But he was a heavyweight,
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. What else do we have on the dock? Damn, I can't believe it's so fucking light lately. I think it's light across the board, right? I hope.
I don't check many of the big boxing channels, so unfortunately I couldn't tell you what their engagement is right now. But yeah, it just seemed like you said last night. It seems like it's slow, not a lot of big fights, bullshit fights coming up. Not bullshit, but you know what I mean. Middle of the road, like kind of interesting, but not the blockbuster. We're gonna have to wait till September to really get a huge one, right? So
yeah, exactly. All right, hold on, sorry. Reduce price.
You guys do not be ashamed or afraid to hop up and please like Oval and like vlogs do show your face, Clayton Bigsby. Show your face. It's all good. No one's gonna fucking stalk you or do some bullshit. Just fucking. It's more, in my opinion, more engaging when you can see someone's face, their body language. That's most of communication, so you can see how I'm coming off. So it's much more interesting, my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. For show. Who else we got in Alberto? Ness was live with 800. Damn. Okay. Well, I guess it's just me then. It's annoying because I think we got a big spike after the whole Ness thing. It was just people like wanting to come in and see what I'm gonna see, which is so stupid. Like what I'm gonna. Do you even watch his show at all?
No, I don't anymore. I mean, that is how I got introduced to you, and I watched it up until even before this shit happened with you. I didn't even see that. up until about 2 months ago. So I watched him for roughly a year, and then like 2 months ago, I was like, I don't really like. After the border war shit, it was like, I don't know, people talk too much shit and want to try to promote themselves. Like I said, I was a pro wrestler. I know that a lot of pro wrestling talk on his calls, man. Just I'm the shit. Fuck you. Fuck everybody. No one can fuck with me, and that's not what I'm here for, man. I'm not here for you to self-aggrandize. Anyway, so yeah, I had to. As I'm maturing, I stopped watching bullshit like that, basically. So no, I don't watch TBV anymore. I stick to the smaller channels because, sorry, not to go on too much, but
No, go
I
ahead.
stick to the smaller channels because that's where the purest talk tends to be had, or people are really authentic and not trying to get clout. I hate that this new generation just wants, well, any attention is good attention, even if it's negative. I don't come from that era. That's bullshit to me. My reputation and how I carry myself means a lot to me as a man. So
Yeah,
there
exactly.
you go.
I'm with you. I'm with you. It's I guess, but unfortunately, what's this guy saying? Two Tone helps his channel a lot. Well, I don't think I gave much to his channel personally. I don't think I provided much to his channel because it's like that wasn't really my thing. Like what I mean. Like they almost never talked about boxing for a long
Right.
time. It was
Yeah.
like a little bit, and then just callers. So my man Bailey agrees with you. Are we still cool? I don't know. I don't know if I'm. We have to have a conversation, which he still has not reached out to have. So I'm not pissed at him, but I'm definitely not gonna if go back on his show until we talk. But no, I don't hate him or anything like that. No, I mean, just whatever. You provided some racist. Yeah. I let the racist people come in and be racist, but they wasn't too much of that, thank God. Sorry, hold on.
While you're doing that, I see Alberto dropped in the chat. Let's give it a little test. Since your audience is relatively small right now, let's give him a chance to see if he can be mature about this, and we can just talk some boxing because he's starting to throw personal shots. I'm just not with it, but I'm trying, man. For the sake of your channel, I'm really trying.
No, I mean I don't know. I don't know.
Or otherwise, we may not be able to call fights again in the future. And like you said, it worked well the first time. So
Moon Man, what up? You get in the ring with Ness. I will
Moon
beat
Man.
the shit out of Ness. Everybody knows that. What's up, Marco? It's been a minute. What's up? Where you been, NYC? You know what I'm
So you
saying?
got a Mamoon and a Moon Man. That's gonna be hard to keep straight.
Yeah, right. I was just thinking. I thought that was Mamoon. I was like, huh? CJ, who is your favorite fighter?
Currently or historically? I'll answer both briefly. Crawford, Tyson. There you go.
Crawford and Tyson.
Yes.
LDBC means Lions Den Boxing Community, I believe, or channel. I think
That's right.
community. Yeah, they
Yep.
are. I guess what's the best way to put it? Pro black, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's accurate.
That's the best way to put it. I'm cool,
Yeah.
and I'm cool with all of them actually. Even though they tend to, but I'm cool with them. I don't know. I have no problem.
They tend to what?
They tend to go on a lot of racial rants. You know what I'm saying? But again, not everybody. Like they pick certain people who they think are racist. They don't think every white person's racist. They just go on the rants of people who they don't like. Yeah. So that's why some people are surprised. Like, you're friends with them because you're white? I'm like, yeah. Like one of the main dudes is from New York and Jersey. Like we fucking, I'm telling you, man, it's different when you grow up in New York. Like it's believe it or not, there's in New York City, growing up, there was like so much less racism going on because we were all such a melting pot. Like we're all around each other. Like you didn't even think about that shit. You didn't even think about it. You didn't even think, oh, he's black, he's Indian. I had so many friends that were all kinds of miscellaneous shit, mixed Indian, Chinese, like all kinds of. It was, you didn't even think that way.
No, I hear what you're saying, and let me say this briefly. I think it's more like that, like more like New York, having been there, and also having been to LA. I don't want to say segregated, but kind of. LA is more segregated, where the Bay is more of a melting pot of people all living in close proximity to each other. So I think that's why I got along well in New York, and yeah, it's just different. Depends on where you grow up. But I'll say this: I think you're talking about Drew Titan.
Yes,
From
that's my
Queens,
man.
you say?
No, he's from the
Okay,
Bronx. He's from the Bronx.
the Bronx. Okay, I rock with this channel. I don't really participate in the chat too much, but I watch his shit. So shout out to him. And
Yeah,
I wouldn't say I would say it's accurate to say they're pro black, but I wouldn't say they're anti anybody else. It's just like, if Ryan Garcia is going to be out here dropping N bombs, and they're going to say something about it, and I got to respect that.
and Drew's funny because he goes. I mean, he makes it real uncomfortable. So I used to go on a show a lot, and
Oh yeah,
he's like, yo, you could come on, but it's going to get real uncomfortable because he's
that's
throwing
a
all
fact.
kinds of monkey references. Like he's doing all kinds, and I'm
Exactly.
sitting there like, fuck, I don't condone this.
Right. He does go a
He
bit
goes
far with that. I
wild.
cannot
Yeah.
condone that, but
And sometimes I was on the show, I'll joke around. I'm joking, but I'm serious. I'm like, I don't condone what Drew's saying, but go ahead. And he laughs because it's like, but he'll warn me. So he's like, yo, this is going to get a little spicy. I don't know if you want to show up for this one. I'm like, all right, fuck it.
I feel you. I feel it.
Yeah. So who came up with the joke African booty scratcher? That's Eddie Murphy.
Hmm.
You remember that? That was from, I believe,
From
Raw.
Raw?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah. That was Eddie Murphy. Call it both ways then. My rebuttal to dude is speak on Haney saying he'll never let white boy beat him. That's to you from our buddy Alberto.
Okay, I'm trying to understand this question seriously so I can answer it
He
seriously.
said
Call it
that
both
you
ways.
said that Haney.
Rebuttal to do. Oh, he misunderstands because he's so pro Ryan, and because I'm anti PEDs, he thinks I must be a Haney fan. I'm indifferent to Haney. I shout out to him, nothing against him or Bill, but I'm not a Haney fan. So you asking me to defend him? Okay, you want me to address that point? He probably shouldn't have said that, just like Bernard Hopkins. But I'm not gonna fucking get up in arms about
Oh
it. That's not equivalent to dropping an N bomb, Alberto. That's not the same thing.
no, it's not.
So
No, it's not.
that's my
That's
answer.
right. Hey, that's right. There's an old video of Haney saying that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When is that from? I don't even remember.
I don't know if it was Loma or someone right before him. I think it was a lesser fighter, but yeah, somewhere, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, somewhere around there.
Yo, Joe Pilot, you called New York City racist. Boston is the most racist fucking place in the world. I don't know what you're talking about. You got to be kidding me, Joe.
Yeah.
And it's mostly just like white racist there. Like at least that's what it was in the movies. I don't know. I never really spent enough time there to know the truth.
Well, Bill Burr said it is, and he's from there, so I'm gonna take his word for it.
Yo, what's one matchup y'all want to see?
Okay, we're talking fantasy.
I think he means current.
No. I mean, but like, I say fantasy as in I don't think a lot of these fights are ever gonna happen. So I consider them fantasy fights, like a Tank Shakur. Excuse me, like a Tank Shakur or a Benavidez, Canelo, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, damn. Let me marinate on that for a couple seconds. What happened around
For me, Benavidez, Canelo, Benavidez, Bivol, Tank, Shakur, what else we got? Middleweights, maybe what's his face? What's that? Janibek versus Canelo would be fun. I think they're close enough in weight. That'd be a fun one.
Okay.
Crawford.
That's interesting.
Crawford Boots, Crawford Virgil, Crawford Canelo, Inoue versus Bam, possibly Inoue and Tank.
Oh, that's a great one. I like that. Inoue versus Bam. That's mine. Go ahead.
I like to see Abdullah Mason fight. Who's his weight? Is Carmel his weight? I know they're young and
No,
each other.
I think they're one apart. One apart, yeah.
They're one apart. Okay, I like to see that. I'm not a huge Ryan fan either, but it is foolish not to accept the fact that he is one of the faces of boxing. Well, he is, but that's not. We're talking about him saying the N-word. and Haney and Shakur and Bud of the worlds are
Yeah,
not.
he'll do everything but address that. You want to ask me a direct question, but you want to address that. That's all good, Alberto.
Bam,
Happy
too
Friday,
little.
homie.
Happy Friday. I want to see how Crawford Canelo plays out. Definitely in our versus Bam. Okay. Yep. Inoue versus Bam. All of those. All right. Mason Vargas. Vargas. Which Vargas? One of the Fernando sons? Good die, mate. Yeah, the Vargas boys aren't bad. We've got to see, what's up with them. Vargas boys aren't bad. Yeah, I might go live now. I might always include X and include Instagram. I don't know if it's really going to do much, but it can't hurt.
Exactly. That's my
My
thinking.
Instagram lives it's so funny. I get millions of views, but when I go live, it's like dismal. It's like 15 people, 20 people, maybe tops in Instagram.
I never seen you go live on there. I don't know if it's my notifications or what, but I never caught a live of yours.
It doesn't happen much, but like I'll go on, I'll get like 40, 50 people initially, and then they all drop off because like I've learned something about this whole space. Like if you know me for like screaming in your face about videos, you're probably not going to give a shit about me talking live. It's like they want to see that only. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is unsustainable.
Right.
You can't do that off stream.
Right. And
No, I feel you though. That makes sense. That makes sense.
And they'll see me, they'll be like, why is this guy not screaming? It's like, well, how come Berlanga can get away with saying the N-word? Well, Guru, there's an unsaid, I don't know how it is anymore, but in New York City, Puerto Ricans were allowed to say it coming up. I don't know about now, though. Maybe you can answer that.
You want me to answer that? Okay. Yeah, New York must be
I'm
a
not
different
qualified.
thing.
I'm not qualified to talk about that at all, but it is a different. So in California, the Hispanics never said the N-word?
I would not say that. I would say it's much more a case-by-case basis, while in New York it's just pretty much expected or accepted across the board.
Yeah,
I would say that because me personally, don't say that. Vlogs, when you see me in the bar, I am not your ninja, so we can keep it, peaceful. I can be the homie. We can be homies. But no, it's a case-by-case thing out here, and New York is just like pretty much everyone does it. So that's how I feel.
I don't know if it's like that anymore. But yeah, back in the day, it was anybody from the hood. Like if you watch the movie Kids, the white kids were dropping that word like crazy.
Exactly. And I watched that. Oh man, we played the shit out of that movie. But yeah, I feel you.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So it's like but now I think shit's changed. Like I know a couple. I think Fat Joe stopped using it on purpose, and a couple rappers stopped using it.
Interesting. I don't know about that.
I'm pretty sure he stopped. Yeah, because it's getting to the point where like if you're not black and you say it now, people are like, no, chill. Like the racial tensions are too high.
It's a different climate. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So but
there you go.
Shane, my friend Shane, always uses it. I'm just kidding.
Hell no.
I'm just kidding.
I can't see someone with the last name Culkin just popping off like that. I'm sorry. Ain't no disrespect, Shane, but I don't see that in you.
Nah, I didn't do that. We live well. Live is about nonsense in boxing. Okay. Anyone says it when they rap a song. I mean, I don't anymore. I don't say it when even if I'm like rapping along, I gotta you gotta filter it because you're used to hearing the song, but then you're like, fuck, you can't say it. So I just say brother from now on. Whenever that word comes up, I just say brother if I'm rapping the song.
And let me say this. I don't know what people are saying in the chat, but I'm trying not to say it myself. Even as a black man from East Oakland who has every right to, I'm trying to do it because
I
don't know. I'm just all the time. I mean, I still do occasionally, but yeah, black man from East Oakland coming out talking proper English. Like I didn't always have this diction, sir. Okay. No, but seriously, I'm trying not to do it just because I don't want to be hypocritical.
Vlog says he never says that word. Don't worry. Yeah, CJ playing tough. Anyone in Cali can say the N-word.
Yeah, you're from LA. You're from the segregated part of Cali. I understand, Alberto.
Oh, it's different.
I have compassion.
Okay.
Yes, I said it in the Bay specifically.
Yeah. The Bay. Nobody talks like they don't talk like that, right? Hey, fool. They don't really talk like that.
No, because Too Short is originally from the South, so he put his little twang on it.
Oh,
but no.
Is he?
Yes, which is surprising, right? Because he always repped Oakland.
Yeah, but when I saw Boys in the Hood, they were all like, "Hey, fool, Buster!" Like that's how they were talking.
Okay, and that's L.A. That's L.A. The Bay. It's like two different states. I cannot emphasize that enough. It would take me 7 hours to drive down and put hands on Alberto. It's a long ways away.
See, there's my man NYC. He's a Rican. He grew up in NYC. We all, you Ricans said that shit crazy a lot, but yeah, now it's different.
Yeah, shout out to him for refraining. Yeah, we can all get better.
Doesn't it matter your skin tone? Like if you're a dark Puerto Rican where you almost look black, they won't really think twice. But if you're like a lighter one, right? Doesn't it matter the skin tone or no?
He can speak on that. I didn't meet a Puerto Rican until I was in my 20s, so I don't know about that.
Well,
there's none of them in the back.
For example, Ness. There's a good example. He's
okay.
Dominican, but he says that word. I feel like he's dark enough where nobody's going to be like, "Hey, you watch it," right?
Well, I will say it's not about him being like closer to black. You could think he's just a light-skinned black dude. That would be my assumption, being from out here and not being familiar with, all these Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and all that. We don't have that out here. So I would just think he was a light-skinned black dude. So in that case, yeah.
Oh, that's racist. Oh, that's racist. Oh, that's racist. Oh,
I don't even know how we got on this.
Oh, that's racist. Oh, that's racist. Oh, that's racist.
It does, like when I first go live, it's on a loop. So that's funny though. Dude, man. Next year, Benavidez Bivol's absolute must. I don't know. Fight sports. I don't know.
I would love it. Bivol would have to win the trilogy. I mean, have to win that third match, in my opinion.
The Bay birthed the Panthers. Racism is allowed.
Not allowed. Not allowed, because this is the home of the Black Panthers. Is what he's saying.
Right. The Bay.
Well, there you go.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Marco, the N-word is unacceptable at all times amongst a certain class of blacks, used to be by thugs only. Yeah? I have a couple, like my friend Fred, who comes in here, his mom from a young age was like, we do not, he's obviously black. His mom's like, you don't use that word. So he never used it. But the kid, but he's from Long Island. He's from like the suburbs. The kids I grew up with in the city, man, shit. Non-stop.
No, but Bailey, let me interject real quick. Bailey is right. Baldwin Hills, they're not walking around saying that. So I'm kind of on the borderline. I'm trying to get fully into the upper class. You see, I have the middle class right here. I'm trying to elevate my status.
So I think Michael Moore would have dominated today's light heavyweight division. Yes.
Oh, light heavyweight, yeah, definitely.
Yes, Michael Moore could have been the greatest. Besides Roy, the greatest light heavyweight who ever lived. Like, he was that fucking good.
No. What about, I'm going to get the names fucked up. Charles? Is he light heavyweight? Ezra Charles?
Ezra Charles was a heavyweight. He might have started at light heavy, but he made his fame as he was the heavyweight champ.
Okay. How about Archie Moore?
Archie Moore was a light heavyweight. Yeah, he started even lighter, but he just took so many losses, but he also fought well into his 40s. It's a hard one to gauge.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay, fair enough.
If I wasn't black, I would use the word as a tactic inside the ring to get a fighter off their square.
That's wild.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, Jack Johnson, you know what he used to do, right?
What's that?
Jack Johnson, we're talking 1908.
I had an answer, but it was going to be inappropriate. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, you could.
No. Please explain. I'm actually interested.
Jack Johnson. Hold on. I think Jack Johnson fought in 1908, where lynchings and all this shit was still happening. Right.
Right.
He would go in there and he was fighting almost all white men. Once he was able to break through into the scene, and he would literally talk to him in a slave voice while he beats them. So gangster. He would hit him like, you like that, master? And he would keep, fuck with him. Because he spoke very eloquently, actually. He would talk to him in a slave voice while he beats their ass and smile at him with his gold fronts. So
a man after my own heart. That's craziness.
It was crazy. He would just fuck, and he would hold them. He would hold them up so they don't fall, so he could keep beating them. Like a fucking ventriloquist. Ugh!
Brutal. And that's back when not only could you do that, but there was no retreat back to your corner when the dude's down, right?
No, you stood on top of them until once their knee picked off the canvas, you could hit them.
Then you can hit him. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like, how did anybody get up from that?
Savage. I know.
You know, how did anybody get up from that? Today's fighters are. If you know the history of the word, you never say it. Lynchings. Yeah, I mean, shit. No, Jack Johnson, talk Marco. Shut up. After the trilogy, I think Bivol is up there with Charles, Foster, Spinks, Langford, and others. Langford? Langford fought more at heavyweight. But okay. Bob Foster, you're gonna put Bivol with Bob Foster, Charles. Ezra Charles?
That's what he means, yeah.
You know, I gotta look this up. I didn't know Ezra Charles fought so much at light heavyweight. I mean, it makes sense.
I want to say a good portion, like at least like 5-6 years, a good portion of his career.
I mean, he was 6 feet tall.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right, because he was fighting. Oh yeah. Oh whoa, he started at middleweight in 1942, and then he moved to light heavy in 46, where he spent how many years? 10. Wow, only a year. This motherfucker had like 15 fights in 1 year in 1946 and 47.
God damn. That's unbelievable.
Oh, wait, no. He kept going. Let's see. When did he go to heavy? From 46 to... see, there's a lot of like 185-pound weigh-ins here. So it's hard, like, I don't know if that would have to be heavyweight, because... Oh, no, that... Yeah, that had to be heavyweight. Anything over 175 was heavyweight back then.
Exactly.
So
no cruisers.
I guess he only spent 2 years at light heavyweight.
Okay, well then you can't put him up there. Gotcha.
Nah, he only spent 2 years, and then as a middleweight from 42 till 46. So yeah, the majority of his career, I suppose, was at let's see, from 48 to 59. Yeah, over 11 years at heavyweight. You know, but there was no cruiserweight division, which probably would have been helpful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but back then the dudes barely got over 200 pounds back then.
Yeah, different time.
Way different. For every sport, the older guys always think the newer guys couldn't compete.
There is some truth to that. I mean, you have a bias for nostalgia, what you grew up with, but then there's also some objective reality that these dudes are really thugging it out, and like Marco said, fighting several times a year. Is not unheard of. Even in the 80s, how Tyson came up, he had like 15 fights in a year. He was just rising through the ranks. So I think that's the reason us older dudes will put a lot more weight on the previous generations. But you could be right.
Give me 1 second. Hold it down for me. I'll be back in literally 10 seconds.
I got you. So yeah, I think there is some legitimacy. Obviously, like I said, to reiterate, everyone likes what they grew up with, but there is some objective reality to say, hey, I saw this dude do more. Eye test and just, like I said, the work, how active they were is what I want to say, their activity. That leads me to think that most of the older fighters would have outcompeted these dudes. Not to mention the mentality of this generation is softer. I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm not some fucking lumberjack, but I've done a lot of manual labor in my time before I became an engineer, so I know the value of hard physical work. But these kids right here want to be on TikTok and just make all their money that way. So different mentality, different generations. Yeah, free to have your own opinion. That's where I'm coming from.
I'm back. My bad.
Good timing. Perfect. I just wrapped up a little soliloquy. It was good.
No, they say Charles was one of the greatest light heavyweights. Bivol over Moore. He only fought heavyweight. What did I say? 2 years light heavyweight? How come?
Yeah. You can't put him up there based on that. Just based on the
a
lack of volume, a lack of fights at that weight.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. But again, yeah, I mean, I guess he would have been a cruiserweight between 75 and 99. Cruiser. That's where he fought a lot of his fights. But then at the end, he was coming in 200, 201. You know, but that's what it was then, man. These guys were not big. Jack Johnson, I always say this, was 6 feet, 205 pounds, and he was the Galveston giant.
Right, he looks huge in that old fight footage.
Yeah, he's a giant, you know. So and then, But you had your sprinkles. Jess Willard was 6'6", I believe. Primo Carnera was also around that. You had a couple 6'5", 6'6" dudes here and there, but and then the '90s came, and you had the explosion of Bo, Lennox, Michael Grant, Galata. All these 6'5" plus guys.
Right.
And now, I mean, look at it now. Tyson Fury's 6'8", 6'9", whatever he is.
Well, have you seen him in person? Let me ask you that.
No, but I hear that people think he's not 6. They say he's more like 6'7".
That's what I would think, just based on how tall he looked compared to Wilder. Yeah, something like that.
What's up, Mo?
Hey, what's up? Can you
Yo.
guys hear me?
We hear you. We
Yep.
hear you.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, before you get
what's
started,
the topic of discussion? What's up?
Mo,
What are you guys talking about
real
today?
quick before
What's
you
good?
get started, stop using that AI to win the trivia. My fingers are moving at lightning speed, and you're still beating me. Stop using that AI.
Bro, I swear to God, I don't use AI.
I'm just fucking with you, champ. You got it. You got it. Your name is accurate. You got more brains than me, apparently.
Yeah.
No Tootie.
We're just talking about there we got Fight Sports here too. What's up? We're just talking about what were we talking about? Old fighters, I guess. Edward Charles, Jack Johnson. But we can go into the newer realm. I don't know. Whatever you guys want to step into.
They were saying light heavies, fantasy fights. I don't know how long you've been down in the chat, but yeah, any of that. Just general talk. What's on your mind?
No, I literally just popped in like literally a minute ago. No, I was gonna say, dude, I don't think who's it? Michael Spinks is talked about enough as a top light heavyweight, because that dude with the limited skill set and being a crude fighter that he was, fucking dominated, bro.
Why
and
do you
he can
think
do any.
Why do you think he had a limited skill set?
I think not just skill set. Maybe skill set's a bad word. Maybe like compared to someone like Roy, he was not as naturally talented as a lot of the other all-time greats that we've seen.
Well,
you know what I mean? Or even not even just Roy, even like Beaver or Better Biev. He was not like super fleet-footed. He was just so technical and disciplined.
Straightforward.
He was 8 years at light heavyweight, the majority of his career, and then he only had 5 fights at heavyweight, 2 of which he defeated Larry Holmes and Jerry Cooney, which is fucking impressive. And then he only has 1 loss, guys, and that's the destruction to the prime Mike Tyson.
Yeah, he had to move. He had to fight a prime Tyson or to lose. By the way, thanks for having me on, Marco. I just mentioned that because CJ, you were talking about how the old fighters are, generally because of discipline and everything, considered better than the new fighters. And somebody mentioned light heavyweight, and so I just threw this out there. I think Bivol, he's got a lot of work to do with his resume, but I think if he stays on track, especially if he wins the trilogy and beats Benavidez, I mean, how I think that fight's going to go. I think his resume does deserve for him to be in that conversation.
Yeah. Let me respond to that quickly. And I think it might have been Marco that said this, that these Eastern European fighters are more of a throwback. So they have that discipline and that grit and that willingness to do whatever is necessary. Where the Western fighters, especially the American fighters, are more about showmanship, especially these days and social media. So I feel that. Go ahead.
Oh no, sorry, I completely agree. I mean, I remember when Paulie Malignaggi said that. He said basically Americans are a little lazy and they need to learn from the Eastern European mindset. I couldn't agree more.
Right. Maybe it was Paulie. Maybe I got them mixed up. No racist. I'm sorry.
Yeah. By the way, Marco, sorry, I'm a little bit behind the times. What is this new venture show you're going to do?
I am pitching my own one-stop shop boxing show to ESPN.
Oh, nice! Oh, congrats, man.
To a bunch of executive, I don't know if any of you guys have ever been involved in pitches, but there's a difference between having a talk with somebody and actually having an actual pitch meeting with the dudes who can green light it, and that's what I'm doing. So that's pretty
nice.
Cool.
Congrats.
I mean, I'm trying not to get congrats. I appreciate it, but
right.
If nothing happens, it might just make me more fucking upset. But whatever.
Yeah, right. The other thing is, sorry, unless I'm hogging up the stream. Does somebody else want to go or?
No, go for
it. When I first tuned into this live, I heard someone you say to whoever was on that you sometimes aren't 100% sure of how people sometimes receive things that you say. I've said a lot of things on your streams just in the comments where I remember you said you felt that I kind of like say sensationalist stuff, and I truly do not try to be that way. I wanted to just ask, does like when I said Golovkin I feel is a little bit overrated in terms of legacy, does it honestly come across like I'm trying to say sensationalist stuff?
Not really. No, not really.
No, I wouldn't say that's outrageous. No.
Somebody just goes, "Is this Tim Zoo speaking?" That's funny.
Tim Zoo's from Australia. I'm from New Zealand, but
yeah.
You
ignorant
no.
American.
I actually truly I actually might be moving to Australia to be with my to be like, they're not my actual family, but we're like family later this year. But I still enjoy being known as the New Zealand guy.
Are you a white guy?
Yeah.
I didn't know. Maybe you were like the what
Aboriginal.
Yeah, like the darker skinned New Zealand. I didn't know.
In Australia, it's Aboriginal. In New Zealand, it's Maori.
Right, Maori. So yeah.
Can you say that one more time? You say that word one more time?
In New Zealand, it's in New Zealand, not the first, the second
Maori.
Yeah.
The second one, Maori.
To enter the country were Maori.
So that's like what James Thunder and what like David Tua are, right?
David Tua is actually Samoan. Samoa has its own islands, its own separate islands that are so tiny most people don't see them. They weren't the, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you were a white guy or one of those. So just asking.
Yeah, I'm gonna avoid all conversations of race because I've had people say some pretty racist shit towards me, which is there's not many things that piss me off more than people trying to race bait. So I'm just gonna try and like.
But the thing with you is, but you're lucky because people see me. You could have been a darker Maori dude. They don't know, you know.
Yeah. Which is that's one of the reasons I don't put myself on camera yet, because if I'm not the best at dealing with online trolls, so I'm trying to like become a bit accustomed to it before I put myself out there more.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy Thunder was from New Zealand, right?
Yeah. Where exactly don't know. I mean, I'm very familiar with Tua, and Joseph Parker's actually Samoan as well. And
Jimmy Thunder died.
I didn't know that.
I don't know. Do you know what Jimmy Thunder died from?
I don't. I wasn't very familiar with his career. Probably because he was just a journeyman.
He was. Yeah, he was. I mean, I don't want to make accusations, but if anybody was sipping on Capri Suns, he was getting those shipped to New Zealand. Because you guys remember Jimmy Thunder? Any of you?
No, I'm not familiar.
So
I've never seen any Jimmy Thunder fights.
Did you guys ever watch Tuesday Night Fights? Either of you gentlemen?
Yes, but I was very young.
Right. So this is where our age, I guess, because I'm like 7 years older than you.
Right.
Tuesday Night Fights would have fights every Tuesday night on the USA channel. And it was the dopest fight because it was never big names. You would randomly get an up-and-comer, like Roy, early in his career, came and fought but this before he was Roy. Like, he was known as, the Olympic silver medalist who got robbed, but they would match. The matchmaking on Tuesday Night Fights was so good, and it built its own community. Like, people, they had numerous rematches because two fights were so good, even though they were, crude, rudimentary kind of fighters that didn't have the most skill. It was so much fun to watch because they were banging each other out. There would be rematches, and people would be excited to see them. And Jimmy Thunder made his mark on Tuesday Night Fights. He was a very muscular looking. He kind of looks Samoan to me. Muscular looking kind of.
He is Samoan, by the way.
He is. Okay, so that makes sense. He's a Samoan but like a bodybuilder, like too muscular. Like, it looked like he was on steroids. Now, I'm not saying he was, but it looked like it. He hit really hard. But the matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna show you guys. And he did really well until he faced. Let me show you guys. I'm trying to find this. Why is it not coming up? It's very annoying. Okay, here we go. He did really well. He was knocking everybody out. He was fan friendly. He looked amazing. And here it is. Until he walked face first, unfortunately for him, into Chris Bird.
Yeah.
Heavyweight boxer in history. 1997, the heavier Jimmy Thunder bum rushes Chris Bird like he was looting a Walmart during the LA riots. Seconds in, Bird slips and clips Thunder with an original recipe two-piece that's so hot it burns the top of his mouth. Jimmy gets up and continues bulldozing forward, but finds himself missing and being spun around like he's on Dancing with the Stars. The New Zealand native manages to land a flush shot, but Bird's knuckles instantly respond like an AOL email bouncing back. Chris feeds Thunder with a steady diet of straight punches while disappearing on him like Susan Storm. The Olympic medalist calculates his distance better than an odometer, spray painting Jimmy's grill like he's bombing the A-train. Thunder keeps barreling forward, trying to overpower the Olympic silver medalist. But Chris remains agile as a middleweight as he sprays Jimmy's cabbage like an AK-47. Going up in weight, Bird keeps the speed of a cheetah and adds the durability of a bear. As Chris doesn't even flinch after Thunder nails him flush. In round 7, Bird initiates the spring in his waist like Inspector Gadget, which gasses Thunder out. Chris then pounces like a lion going after an injured gazelle and proceeds to beat Thunder like someone held down the fast forward button, landing a lightning storm 35-punch unanswered combination that forces the ref to stop the fight.
I mean, he beat the fucking shit out of Thunder. And that was Jimmy Thunder. That was Jimmy Thunder.
And just to correct somebody in the chat, Jai Opatira is not Maori, he's Aboriginal. He's again from Australia, but a lot of people. It was funny. Like I was on a show the other day, and a lot of people. And the first thing the guys asked me, and we're cool. They asked if the word Kiwi was actually like a slang insult. I was like, no, Kiwi is a native bird in New Zealand. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a slang. Okay. And then
okay. FST, I got a question. I'm not hating on your accent, but I really want to. I like to learn things. So, like I said, I knew the word Aboriginal, but you said in New Zealand they're called Maoris. Can you spell that? Just because the accent kind of, I want to say it correctly.
I think it's with a D.
It's Maori.
Oh, Maori. Maori?
Maori.
Like Maury Povich?
Maori. Kinda.
Tell you what, I'll just write it in the chat.
No, I got it.
A D just spelled it.
Maori. I got it. Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
Maori.
Yep. I mean, people. There were a lot of. We've got a lot of different cultures in New Zealand, but like the Samoans, they have their own islands, and they like. I'll have to check on the history, but they've regularly traded with New Zealand because no one's really moved over there except them. So they've got their cool little island. Same with the Cook Islanders and. Yeah, the Maoris, they actually weren't the first people in New Zealand. They were the second. First were the Maori. So there's been a lot of people in New Zealand. It's got a long history.
Interesting. Thank you, homie. Well, brief history lesson. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's dope. It's dope. So I got a couple more minutes and I got to get my daughter, unfortunately.
Yeah, picking her up from school?
Yeah, or the bus stop. Yeah, the bus stop doesn't stop right here, so I got to go drive and get her from the bus stop. Some suburban shit. So, but anyway, let me head out now, guys. I will see you guys back this evening.
Do you mind if I just ask you one quick question, Marco? No. Like, it's because there's next sometime in the future, I'd love to learn, have this kind of conversation with you when it comes to this greatest of all time discussion, which is that's the first thing you asked me when I first came on your show. How when you look at the older fighters like the Robinsons, the Armstrongs, the Harry Grebbs, and Sam Langfords, when it comes to comparing them to even like the Alis, before you get to modern day fighters and the Four Kings
Mhm.
and stuff. How? Because I actually find this harder with MMA, which is only like 25 years old. With boxing, how do you do that as somebody who's been following the sport for a long time? Compare like guys from the 1800s to the modern day fighters.
Well, you can't do a time machine matchup comparison, meaning if they both jumped in the DeLorean and then got outside and wanted to fight in the parking lot, who would win? You can't do that because Jack Johnson was 6 feet tall, and Riddick Bowe is 6'5" and 50 pounds heavier. It would be unfair. So I compare their achievements in their eras. So you can struggle to find any fighter that was more dominant than Jack Johnson for as long as he was dominant, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. Joe Louis is probably the only one because he had the belt for the longest. So that's what I do. I compare what they did in their eras. That's the only way you could do it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
cool. Well, thanks for having me on, man. And
of course. I'll catch you guys tonight, man. I got to go pick up this little baby girl of mine.
Awesome, all right, Marco.
Peace.
I appreciate you guys.
CJ.
Peace.
Yep. Salute.
All right.